taxes.
But Senator, to your point, and to Joe's point, your taxes do show that you're a millionaire. You did make $1 million in 2016, 2017. You're right, the 561 in 2018. But your marginal tax rate was 26% because of President Trump's tax cuts. So why not say, you know, I'm leading this revolution. I'm not going to take those.
Come on, we're doing. I pay the taxes that I owe. And by the way, why don't you get Donald Trump up here and ask him how much he pays in taxes?
We will.
Yeah, well, good. Well, I am eagerly awaiting your doing that.
Well, we'd love to have you.
We would love to have that question.
Get him up
We
here.
absolutely
And
will.
the president, I guess the president watches your network a little bit, right? Hey, President Trump, my wife and I just released 10 years. Please do the same. Let the American people know how much we owe.
All right. But just...
I happen to believe, Joe, that we have an absurd tax system. And while millions of people today are paying actually more in taxes than they anticipated, Amazon, Netflix, and dozens of major corporations, as a result of Trump's tax bill, pay nothing in federal taxes. I think that's a disgrace.
But if they say the same thing about you, that you just want felons to vote because it will be better for you?
Oh, come on.
I mean, they could say the same thing, right?
And you have done a scientific study to
No, I'm
determine
just
that.
saying that everybody wants to, you know, encourage voters and discourage voters depending on where they sit.
One of the great problems, one of the political problems that we're facing right now is the effort to deny people the right to vote. And look, I have run for office many times in Vermont. Sometimes I've lost, sometimes I've won. But I don't stay up nights trying to figure out how I can keep people from voting.
You are looking to become the first Jewish president.
Yes.
You're also a staunch supporter of Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who even...
Hold it. No. I've talked to Ilhan about twice in my life, so
but you've
I respect her.
tweeted support for
but this is what I do support. I support a Muslim member of Congress not to be attacked every single day in outrageous racist remarks.
Here. So in Pennsylvania, you've got unemployment is down over the past couple of years. Wages are up 6.6%. So how do you convince those people in this area who I know you'd like to win over this time around that they should, you know, sort of change horses and go with you when things are going well?
Okay, well, that's a fair question, and let's look what's going on not only in the United States, around the world. I know Donald Trump will tell you that he is responsible for the relatively low unemployment which we currently experience. Well, guess what? In 2010, at the heart of the Wall Street crash, unemployment in America was 10%. You remember that? Yep. By the time Obama left office, it was 4.5%. Okay? So it's gone down, and in the last 2.5 years under Trump, it has gone down again. Where are we at 3.5% now? That's good. Okay, but there's been a steady decline. Do you know what unemployment is in Germany now? 3.1%. In Japan, it's 2.8%. In the UK, it's a hair higher than us. In other words, the entire global economy, thank God, is bouncing back for the terrible, terrible Wall Street disaster that cost so many jobs and caused so much suffering in this country. Okay?
And you said that has nothing to do with the Trump
Certainly
policy.
not. What I'm suggesting to you is the facts are very clear, is that in Japan, in Germany, United Kingdom, all over the world, thank God, it's a good thing, the global economy is coming back and unemployment is relatively low. Now, I know Trump will give a slightly different spin on it. But in the midst of all of this, in the current economy today, while unemployment is low, and we're all delighted by that, what you have is that most of the new income and wealth continues to go to the very, very wealthy. You have a situation now where 7 million more people lack health insurance that used to have it. And you still have a situation where in states all over this country, and it's hard for me to believe this, but it's true, you got people still working for $7.50, $8 an hour because Trump and Republicans refused to raise the minimum wage to a living wage. So to answer your question, the economy today is good, thank God, but you got tens of millions of workers still struggling to put food on the table. And we've got to address their needs as part of the debate.
Let me ask you just quickly, if you raise taxes on corporations, which I know you weren't happy with the tax cuts for corporations, aren't you afraid that that is going to chill employment, that those companies are going to say, you know what, we have 100 employees, we could do it with 50. We can do it with 60. We're not going to pay these higher taxes. We're not going to, isn't that a concern?
If you want to defend, I think we look at the world a little bit differently, but if you want to defend a tax system in which Amazon, owned by the wealthiest person in this country, pays zero in federal taxes.
I don't think anybody thinks that's fair.
Okay, good.
But I'm saying if you raise taxes on companies, small businesses across the country,
well,
are you worried that they will employ fewer people?
Tax policy is complicated, and you got to do it right. You didn't hear me say we're going to raise taxes on small business, did you? What we are talking about is raising taxes on large, profitable corporations and on the wealthiest people in this country, and I think that is just.
Taxes to raise to pay for all of the plans.
Yes.
There are bipartisan independent groups who have looked at those plans and say it just doesn't add up. Well, what do you say to them? We
disagree. And sometimes these plans done by think tanks, check out who funds the think tanks. Yes. Okay. Look, Brett, here is the issue that we have to deal with. Let me just bring it down to a human level. We're the wealthiest country in the history of the world. That's where we are right now. Do you think we should be having the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major nation on earth? We got some moms here who are spending $15,000, $20,000 a year trying to find quality child care for their kids. We probably have a child care system which is more dysfunctional than almost any other country on earth, where we all know that 0 through 4 are the most important years. You got hundreds of thousands of bright young people in America today, the wealthiest country in the world. They can't afford to go to college. And you got 40 million people struggling with student debt. You really think that we cannot do better as a nation? And on top of that, you got a handful of people who own more wealth than the bottom half of the American society. Now, I understand that we're taking on corporate America, we're taking on the Republicans, we're taking on the Democratic establishment, taking on the drug companies, taking on the insurance companies, taking on the military-industrial complex. You know what? Okay. It ain't easy. I know that. But I think what the American people know, the American people, I think, are ready to deal with justice in America. That's what we're fighting for. And that's economic justice, social justice, environmental justice, racial justice. Okay?
We're going to give him a floor for a closing statement here.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And I hope I wasn't too hard on you.
That's all right. We can take it.
All right. All right. Look, thank you all very much for being here. And thank everybody for watching. Just a couple of points. I think sometimes the divisions in this country get a little bit too hot. Okay? At the end of the day, we are all Americans who love this country. And I also think, and the media plays not a good role in this, and again, not just Fox, is we have a lot more in common than most people think we do. All right? Poll after poll. Should we raise the minimum wage to a living wage? Yes. Should we rebuild our crumbling infrastructure? Should we make sure that our veterans get the health care that they have earned? All right? Should we make sure that we do not cut Social Security or Medicare or Medicaid? Should we give huge tax breaks to billionaires? You know, that's how most people feel. So I hope, look, I'm looking forward to a good campaign. And the last point that I want to make, and I thank Fox, for the opportunity of being here. And that is, I want to see our country have the highest voter turnout in the industrialized world, not one of the lowest. So no matter what your views are, get involved in the political process, stand up and fight to make this a better country. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Senator Sanders.